Hey, we're live.
All right.
How's it going, Rocky?
Going good. Okay. So, we're gonna get into the news here. So I wasn't here last week. I forget what I was sick or something. But we're here for the news. We got Magic, and we're gonna be talking about Baldur's Gate, new secret lair.
Excellent.
Streets of New Capenna Championship winner and what they won with for Standard. This was on Arena, but Paper Magic Arena Standard. So kind of the same thing. Let's see. We'll go over the market, some cards that are skyrocketing, and then we'll pass it off to Pokemon. Or no, Yu-Gi-Oh's
Yu-Gi-Oh
next.
first, yep.
Okay, so what are just some spoilers for Yu-Gi-Oh that you'll be talking about so they know? Mm-hmm. You don't have to get into it, but just a few things.
There's an upcoming set in the middle of June. It's called, in Japan, it's called Duelist of the Deep. And it's just basically a lot of water support featuring 3 duelists from the show.
You don't have to get into it. You just say the thing of the deep and then we go.
Yeah, and then we're going to do a little bit about the current decks that have been winning, these most recent regional events, as well as just some new news about upcoming sets and a few of the business moves that Konami has made that have just recently hit our ears that we're going to be talking about.
Yep.
So welcome to the Baxter's Gamecast.
Well, then we got Pokemon, and we're going to be talking about a new clothing line where you get a card.
Yes.
GameStop's doing something crazy.
Oh, okay, that's right.
And then for Warhammer, we're going to be going over some things me as a store owner with Warcry that I try to do and I think could actually work really well. And then we'll get into another pre-order that they just announced.
Yes.
And so we got Hunter x Hunter playing here in the store.
Yeah, we got the anime set up.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, so okay, let's start with Magic. So Baldur's Gate spoilers. My favorite place to look at Baldur's Gate spoilers is Mythic Spoiler. Here it is, the website. They update the fastest I see updated is Mythic Spoiler, and then you could click on the cards and get a better insight on them, and then people actually give their own opinions in the comments, which is really cool. So let's start with some of the top 3 cards that I've seen so far that my Magic expert Johnny at Baxter's told me to talk about was Tasha the Witch Queen. So a lot of buzz about this card. Legendary Planeswalker, and whenever you cast a spell you don't own, create a 3/3 black demon creature token. So that's a static ability that's just always in effect on a Planeswalker. We saw the first of this from War of the Spark. Planeswalkers have this. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, so how am I going to cast other spells? Well, there are some cards, I know there's some cards in red where, you attack and it exiles your opponent's top card, and then you can cast them till the end of turn and stuff like that. So there's that. But look, +1, draw a card for each opponent, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard and put a page counter on it. And then -3, you may cast a spell from among cards in exile with a page counter on them without paying its mana cost. So there's a way to do it right there. And then she can be used as your commander. So very cool. As you can see, first comment, wow.
Staple and send triplets.
Yep, staple. So people are excited for her. There's already 9 comments on there.
Right.
Wow, very cool. So excited for that. Another card, Ancient Bronze Dragon. So I actually picked this one because I thought this was, I like quirky, neat mechanics. This one has a neat mechanic that you don't see every day. So it's 7 mana, 5 of anything, 2 green. It's a dragon flying. Whenever Ancient Bronze Dragon deals combat damage to a player, roll a d20. When you do, put X +1/1 counters on each of up to 2 target creatures where X is the result. So the reason why I like this is because it's kind of like luck. So, you swing in with the dragon, and if you deal damage, you roll your d20. If you roll 20, the best thing, you get to put 20 +1 counters on up to 2 creatures.
Right.
It's awesome. Of course, you could do 5 counters if you roll 5, 10. But, the time when you roll that 20, you're going to be like, yes! So just having that feeling that you, pulled it off, I think is just worth it. What else do we got? Crowd lands. So crowd lands are back, and that is the lands that everyone should use in Commander. Where are they? Here they are. So Sea of Clouds, right? White, blue. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you have 2 or more opponents. So there's no reason why you wouldn't want to play this in any Commander deck, because you always have 4 or 3 opponents, unless you're doing 1 versus 1. But yeah, they got Morphic Pool, Luxury Suite, Spire Garden, Bountiful Promenade, and this is cool because it's going to drive down the price for people.
Right.
Because let's see what Sea of Clouds was. I'm going to go ahead and
we're going to run some history real quick
and open up, to kind of remember what some of these prices were before these got announced. Sea of Clouds. Here we go. All right.
Wow,
so right now it's
day.
$13.99. It looks like the pre-sale for this is going for $11, but let's just click on the $13.99 one. Yep. Okay. Plus shipping, so it's about $15. But you could see it was just May 8th. It was like
$20.
Mm-hmm. So it's already gone down $5.
Right.
And then as it approaches release, it'll probably keep going down a little bit more. But honestly, like, you see this one right here.
The foil one, I'm presuming?
Not foil. So this is called an Expedition.
Oh, okay.
It's $20. So it's like, actually, I mean, if you buy it on the low and you get lucky, you could probably get it for $19. It's like, just buy this, spend a couple extra dollars. I mean, look at it. And this just in standards of the market. And, and when talking about investing, I'd rather spend the extra $3, $4, $5 because this card in 4 years, 5 years will be $50 compared to $20.
It's going to hold value.
Absolutely.
Right.
All right, so that is awesome. And then the last card I want to talk about, which this hasn't had a reprint, I think since like 2010 or 11 of Commander, is Lightning Bolt, or it hasn't had it in a while.
Yeah.
So, of course, 1 mana, Lightning Bolt deals 3 damage to any target. Very good. I think they were sitting around $4. It'll probably stay the price even though but Lightning Bolt's just a great card. All right, the next news is we have a secret Lira announcement for Baldur's Gate. So this is just some pictures that they threw up, but it says Beetle and Grimm is keeping dead quiet about the content of its secret lair for now.
Uh-oh.
Responding with meme gifs when grilled by curious fans. Though the details are coming, notably though, its secret lair is coming on June 13th, just 3 days after release of Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, the D&D themed Commander set launching on June 10th. So keep your eye out for that. It's probably going to be something great. B and G, of course, being Beetle and Grimm's. So they're going to be making a secret lair. Next, we're going to shift gears and talk about Standard.
Capenna Championship.
So there's no big Standard paper championships in at my store at Baxter's. A lot of people have been getting the Standard. It's been exciting. Brian,
weekdays.
Are you going to get in the Standard?
It's probably the most accessible format for me personally, coming in from more of a Yu-Gi-Oh! And some Pokemon background. And it's crazy because we see our shop getting filled on weekdays to play Standard.
I think on Tuesday we had 16 people.
Yeah.
This was just 2 days ago.
Right. It's just a great way to top off and have a full body.
And I'm happy to see Standard coming back. I mean, let's stay positive about Standard. I think it's awesome. Well, this is Arena Standard.
This is the online format?
This is the online format. And Jan Merkel, he won with just Sky Hinata, and which is funny because that was the deck that I've been playing since the start of New Capenna, since Hinata had came out. And I love the deck. Last Tuesday, though, I did play the Esper mid-range deck. It's very good. But let's go ahead and look at Jan's winning
this is
deck.
His pedigree right
So I know a lot about this deck, so I'll be going over it. One of the key cards, this is cool because you have different types of win conditions. One of the key cards, though, is Hinata. You can see he's running 4, and he's running 4 Goldspan Dragons. Now, what Hinata does, which is so great, is the text spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each target. And then spells your opponent's cast cost 1 more to cast for each target. So it'll always cast 1 more to target your Hinata or your Goldspan or anything on your board. And for us, it costs 1 less mana for each target that we have. So what is this combo good with? This card, Magma Opus. Magma Opus deals 4 damage, divided as you choose among any number of targets. Tap 2 target permanents, and then you create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token and draw 2 cards. So why this card is so great with Hinata is because, well, it deals 4 damage divided as you choose amongst any number of targets. So you could choose up to 4 targets to do 4 damage to,
right,
including yourself as a target, including Hinata as a target, right? And so that's 4 targets right there. And then you get to tap 2 targets. So you have 6 targets right now that you get to choose from. And then Hinata says for each target, it costs 1 less. So, well, we just have 6 targets. So minus 6 mana off of Magma Opus, which is 8, we now just have to play a red and a blue.
Red and a blue.
That's
so
it.
That's so
2
much
mana.
advantage generated from this one card.
Yes.
In addition to being able to draw 2.
Correct. It's,
You know?
it's amazing. And so this is pretty similar to the deck that I run. Little bit different. Goldspan, also amazing in the deck. You could... so whenever you attack, you generate a treasure token, and then
Yes.
for each treasure token you sacrifice with Goldspan, you can create 2 mana of any color instead of just 1. So it's a lot of ramp and stuff that you could do. And so what's also great about Magma Opus is if you have it in your starting hand and it's you don't really see Hinata or you don't have anything and it's kind of dead, on turn 2, just discard it, make a treasure, so you could ramp into either Goldspan or even Hinata the next turn, and then
Yes.
get some drawing going. Expressive Iteration is just an amazing card all around. You look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You put 1 in your hand, 1 on the bottom of your deck, and then you put 1 in exile, and you can cast that card. So the play you want to do is if you have a land, you want to play this card before you play your land, and then if you have a land out of those 3, you put that one in exile so you can just play it for free.
Yes.
And then you have a free card in your hand. So it's like you kind of drew 2.
Right.
And then 1 goes on the bottom.
It's a +1, essentially,
Oh, yeah.
in addition to what you're casting for it.
Something that I didn't have in my deck, which I'm now going to be putting in, is Fable the Mirror Breaker, which is such a busted card. And this card has actually been going up in price from when it first came out. But it's a saga, and you create a 2/2 red goblin creature, and whenever this creature attacks, you create a treasure token. So, I mean, this deck revolves a lot around treasures. And, so you get him out. If you get some more treasures, you could go ahead and crack them to get out Goldspan earlier, or Hinata, or play Hinata, crack some treasures to do Magma Opus the same turn he comes out, because you just need 6 mana to do it. 4 for him, and then 2 for this after you select 6 targets. And then you just have the advantage
Right.
coming the whole time. There's a lot of removal. There's counter spells. So you are keeping pace with a lot of decks. The only thing that really destroys this is hard aggro, and they got to curve out correctly.
Okay.
But I'm sure there's some good sideboard cards for this hard aggro if I just kind of look in here. You're seeing a lot more removal in the sideboard that you can side in. Even Valorous Stance for the big creatures if they're coming in that way. And then right here, Seismic Wave. It deals 2 damage to any target and 1 damage to each non-artifact creature. So it does carry that removal. So great deck. Congratulations to Jean, and
Might be Jan Merkel. He's from
or
Germany,
Jan.
for all we know. But there's an interesting story about this guy, right?
Yes, there actually is an interesting story. And so at 17 years old, he won his first pro tour. Does it say that right there?
Right here on the blurb, yeah.
And then it took 16 years to win his second. But he did it.
Right. Anything's possible. When there's a will, there's a way. That's really a saying that we have around here.
So how old is this guy?
Well,
he's
33.
Is that 33?
Mm-hmm. So imagine switching from the paper format at 17 and going through, obviously, a new era of Magic, right? From what it seems, and dominating in an arena tournament.
Yeah, so never give up hope. Here at Baxter's, we never give up hope.
Right. Hope is essential.
We say the straight and narrow down the narrow path. All right. Next for Magic, let's talk about those cards. First one, Ledger Shredder. If you spec'd on this, congratulations. I mean, this is amazing. I wouldn't have known, but check it out. On like release, 99 cents. Market, 77 cents.
Right.
94 cents. Like, look at this card, and then, whoop.
This is
right now it's sitting for about $20 on Card Kingdom, 15 low TCG player.
Right.
Look, all-time low, 93 cents. All-time high, 19.
It's like almost a 500% increase.
Oh my gosh.
We're looking at here.
Yeah. So if you're gonna be picking this guy up, I mean the way I am, just pick him up. You know, before he gets higher. Yes, he can drop, but you know what? If he's a good card and you want to play him, I feel like having fun.
Right.
And like doing what you want to do.
Right. Jump in.
Instead of wishing I had it or like, oh, it's so expensive.
Right.
Yes, cards can be expensive, but nothing replaces the fun that you could have.
Right. The experience of investing in something like this for the sake of building and being a part of a community is fun.
And then, you know, if it ends up dropping, go ahead and sell it as it starts dropping unless you're enjoying it a lot. And, you know, you'll get most of your return back. Because when it comes to experiences, you can't, like, return it, right? So, like, if you're like, hey, let's go mountain biking, and you spend, you know, you go to Colorado, you spend, like, $500, you buy a new bike, and you go do the whole mountain biking thing for the weekend. Maybe you spent, I don't know, let's say $700 on the whole trip.
Right.
You can't just take that home and then return it. I mean, you could sell your bike, but you can't return your airfare or your driving or your gas, all that experience. And the cool advantage we have with collectibles and cards is you could buy it, even if it's high or expensive at the moment, have fun with it, and then you could just resell it and get pretty close back to what you spent.
Right. This is referred to in the financial world as having liquid assets because it's easy for it to transfer back into cash that you invested.
There it is.
You know? So it's not just the experience you're getting really with any trading card. You're also maintaining it, and it grows in value the longer you hold it.
Correct. All right, so the next card that my Magic expert Johnny told me to look up.
Shoutouts to Johnny. We don't say enough about that guy.
Unlicensed Hearse. Let's check this one out. I didn't even check. Oh,
okay, that is insane.
All right, let's see. So yep, starting like 90, all-time low, all-time high 588. But
that is a 500%.
You saying it's insane is true because it's a vehicle. Vehicles are like not that great in Magic, but let's see what this one does. So it's a 2-mana vehicle, so you play it, and then tap ability, exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. So actually, the good thing about this is there's no summoning sickness because it's an artifact. So when you play it, you could instantly tap and exile 2 cards from a graveyard, which that's actually really good just for slapping down.
That's good stuff.
And then its power and toughness are equal to the number of cards exiled with it. Okay, so you're going to slap it down, you're going to do it immediately, so it's a 2/2 if you crew it and make it a creature. You know what? This card is actually really good. Wow.
It's a Recton.
This actually might even go higher. This might be a $10, $15 card.
So from what you're telling me, vehicles were kind of a not so good mechanic back in the day.
It wasn't because they didn't have abilities like this. It would just be like a card that has a power and toughness, and then you got to crew it to make it a creature to attack.
Right.
This actually has a good ability.
It's faster,
on
right?
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is, in some decks, you want to remove their cards anyways. So this is a good card removal.
Yes.
So even if you're not crewing it or being able to do it, it's good. It's a good removal.
Absolutely.
This is like a bonus. This crew too, to make it a creature to attack. I feel like you would have to still have both because I don't think you would have a 2-mana card that does this. I don't know. Maybe you would, without this text here.
Right. Maybe
you would even still run that. Because I don't know if there's a card right now that exiles 2 from a graveyard for that cheap, for free. I mean, you just play it for 2 and then you get free each turn. Very good card. I like it. Pick yours up, honestly. I think this could go up to $10. Easy.
So we're talking another like 40% increase between now and maybe the next month or so.
Yep. Lastly, we do have regional championship qualifiers are starting July 2nd. And The Pro Tour will be featured in early 2023. And then we have quarter 3 qualifiers play this May 27th, 28th. Sorry, not quarter 3. It says BO3. I'm not sure what BO3 is, but May 27th, 28th, we got qualifiers and single day events. Right there.
Excellent stuff.
My store, we're going to be holding qualifier. We're still determining the date, but I already bought the kit. It's from DreamHack. Anyone that owns a store, if you haven't done it yet, you got to contact DreamHack, or Wizards has a link on their website. If you have to be a WPN store, and then you could go ahead and host one of these events into your store. It was really weird because they didn't have me pick a format, so I don't know when they're going to have me pick a format. I'm going to choose standard because I love standard. I know they're probably going to do Pioneer and Modern also.
Right.
But yes. All right. On to Yu-Gi-Oh!
Awesome. Very cool stuff. Thank you, Rocky, as always, delivering the insight of what I would consider a timeless game as Magic.
Ah, yes.
But, you know, for all of you anime/Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans, we're diving in, no pun intended, to this new set. This is part of the legendary Duelist series. We've seen in the last, maybe 9 months ago, we saw the release of Synchro Storm. It was delayed, and it came back around October. And that had a lot of synchro support, a lot of wind support. But in this case, we're dealing with water. And the funny thing about this is that it's kind of slept on. Water is not really a prominent attribute in a lot of ways as it was, say, back in maybe 2014 with mermails and stuff. But we're seeing a little bit of a resurgence with some new updated support. And the thing about Legendary Duelist is that it always showcases characters from the show that some of us may recognize or grew up with. And this covers 3 unique eras. So we have Nash, who is from Zexal. So this is between the Xyz era. We have the Mako Tsunami, which dates all the way back to the original, as he's featured on the front. And we have Sky Zaizen, the one who played Trickstars and then went on to Marine Sis. So to gain a little bit of insight of what we can expect stateside, we have to look at the OCG release of this. And here's the gallery for the reprints as well as the new support that's going to come out. So, fun fact, there was a history in Yu-Gi-Oh! Between 2011 and I would say about 2014, where competitively, everyone just had what was known as a toolbox. And these toolboxes consisted of simple-to-make rank 4 engines, where you would simply bring 2 level 4 monsters as soon as possible to the field, overlay them to make a new monster. And this is, for some of you Yu-Gi-Oh! Veterans, this is a very easy to recognize card. This is Silent Honor Arc number 101.
Of course.
Right. I'm just going to let you know, Konami loves Xyz monsters. They've given us support years after they were promoting Zexal and so on. But Silent Honor Arc was a staple among any competitive deck for its simple ability to detach 2 materials from this card, target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls in face-up attack position, and attach it to this as material. You can only use each effect of Silent Honor Arc once per turn. And if this face-up card on the field will be destroyed by battle or card effect, detach 1 material instead. So, if we do some quick math, this card comes with 2 materials. You remove 2 in order to target 1 monster, and you gain that one as material.
Okay.
So you're always going to have at least 1 material to prevent and keep this card from being destroyed. So, timeless signature card there from a golden era, from what a few of our Yu-Gi-Oh! Veterans would say. So,
is this coming in as like a special edition, or what's...
So, currently, it's actually being printed as a holographic rare, which is very similar to a ghost rare.
Is that the ghost rare that we're getting?
We don't know exactly what the ghost rare is going to be just yet.
So, can you go back to the
sure.
The English one? So, because I have a question.
Yes.
It says we get 1 ghost rare.
Right.
So, is that like... we only get 1 ghost rare, and that's the highest rarity that we'll get from the set?
Yes, there's going to be 1 ghost rare that's going to be printed in this set.
Interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that, because usually it's like, you know, you get Starlights, but it's multiple Starlights that you can pull. It's multiple ghost rares that you could pull. This is just 1 ghost rare?
I'm glad you asked, because this is a trend that started for the TCG back in Rage of Ra. So if we go back, I'd say 18 months, back to September of 2020,
okay,
our ghost rare was the Winged Dragon of Ra.
Got it.
Because obviously this featured a lot of new Winged Dragon of Ra support. So very similar to how in Synchro Storm we saw a reprint. Well, the new Clear Wing got printed as the Ghost Rare. Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon.
Got it.
However, in Japan, they chose this as their ghost rare. So the convention is not quite the same.
Okay.
We don't know exactly which one will be received the ghost rare printing. If I had to speculate, and just looking at the gallery, I think that Silent Anarch is iconic enough as a card for anyone who played during that era of the game, to where I could see this one getting that spot, and it's well deserved.
Okay.
I played it all the way up until 2016 because it was around the time where pendulums were more dominating the meta, but it still had a place. But more exciting things about this set is the really good generic water support in this card. It's a new card. It's interesting in the sense that it's aesthetically it resembles a lot of the old Mako Tsunami support type cards, but it's very simple. You add one level 7 or lower monster that is a water normal monster or that mentions Umi from your deck to your hand. Then if Umi is on the field, you can special summon one water normal monster from your deck. And that's not restricted to any level.
That's pretty good.
There's some good generic water monsters that are really going to benefit from this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 2-for-1. You activate this, you get to search and special summon. So this might be the boost that a lot of Umi-related decks will need. Legendary Fisherman is a series of cards that benefit from having Umi on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And they were a little clunky at first, because this is like an older card. This was from one of the first few sets back in the OCG. But it was the first monster that had the benefit of not being affected by spells. And back then, spells were like your key offensive, tactic that was outside of just attacking. So that was really cool. A few years later, they released Legendary Fisherman 2, and it had a few other perks where it was unaffected by monster effects. And it also had a floating effect where you get to add water monsters. Lastly, in, I think it was Clash of Rebellions, Dimension of Chaos, they had Legendary Fisherman 3. So we're just seeing a progression of really cool Legendary Fisherman support. This one is probably the beefiest out of all of them because it has the Dragoon-like buff where it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, but it's also unaffected by spell and trap effects.
Ooh.
So this is a true boss monster if anyone tries to bring this out. Me, I think, and Justin have had some unfortunate encounters on Master Duel over Legendary Fisherman.
Number 3.
Yeah, number 3. So, yeah, we see the Torrential Tribute reprint, which is really cool. This was notoriously a limited card for several years. Very powerful. When a monster is summoned, destroy all monsters on your field. There's a lot of ways to manipulate this to your advantage. Mm-hmm. Even today, Trap Tricks would use it for being a normal trap.
Yeah, well, Eldritch uses it in their deck.
Yeah, because they're protected from destruction through Eldritch effect. And back in Eternity Code, Rise of the Duelist, they released Torrential Tribute support to where they knew, okay, the game has kind of accelerated a little bit to where we can actually search this card. So that's also kind of interesting. And that's going to see a reprint for us. Marine Cess, it's kind of like the water version of Salamangreat. Their strategy is more about setting up a really powerful Link 3 or Link 4 monster that equips the smaller links from Grave, and it gives them extra benefits. But the newest addition to this is going to be Marine Cess Aqua Argonaut. This is yet to be released in the TCG. And it's a Link 4, and I'll just go ahead and read the effect. Your opponent's monsters cannot attack other monsters while this card is in the extra monster zone. So again, we're more emphasis on extra monster zone in Link era, which is from Vrains. You can only use each of the effects once per turn. You can target one water monster you control and one card your opponent controls. Return them to the hand. So that's your going second effect. That's the one that you trigger on your turn to try to disrupt your opponent. But it also has a very good protecting effect. When a spell or trap is activated during your opponent's turn quick effect, you can special summon one of your Marine Cess monster cards equipped to this card and negate it. Mm-hmm. So it has both going second and going first utility. You set this up, and you can for sure negate any which one of your opponent's spells.
Perfect.
So that's their mechanic, so that's going to be really cool. So it's very interesting. Legendary Duelist is a set that can be slept on easily, but do not forget that these cards also feature very powerful meta staples, as we've seen in Synchro Storm with none other than Barone.
Baron.
Yeah. Everyone knows Barone. He's here to stay. He's essential to a lot of synchro strategies. And we're going to see that in the next segment of our Yu-Gi-Oh department with this article, courtesy of TCG Player. These are the best decks from Dimension Force era regionals. So this is post-ban list. Very current stuff that we're dealing with. The first deck that really came to my attention is this one. Again, we see Perone featured right here. This is Punk Therion. These are 2 archetypes.
Oh, the Punk deck.
So, for those of you who don't know, Punks, their Searcher, Z Amin, is a level 3 Psychic. And it's a tuner. So what does that tell you? It has support with Emergency Teleport, which we just saw went to 3 a couple formats ago. So this is your chief starter. This is the one that lets you pay 600. You get to search. It's just really good utility there, and a lot of synergy being a tuner with none other than Crystron Halki Fibrax. We know he dodged the ban list by a narrow margin. He's limited to 1, but
ooh, we just got breaking news.
Uh-oh. You know, we gotta hit the press.
Yep. This just in, and then we'll get back to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Right. Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate product delayed.
Uh-oh. We're seeing another... Let's see if we can pull this up on desktop. The following product is going to be delayed. To North America, the Baldur's Gate draft boosters and the Baldur's Gate draft multi-packs. Here it is. We're pulling it up for the viewers right now.
Ooh.
This is a sting.
Yep. We just got that's his full release. Well, I got it right here. I got the notes. It's right. It's by boom. But,
yeah, this is.
But it looks like it's going to be delayed. It doesn't say how long it's delayed till. Let me just double check. The following product might be limited availability for approximately 2 weeks following release.
Ouch.
All right. So that's the news.
Right.
Go ahead.
It just goes to show supply chain issues are not limited to international
They're not,
markets.
and I could go on about supply chain issues like crazy.
Right. So that's unfortunate because Yu-Gi-Oh! Has suffered that as well. We had a really funky format back in October when 2 delayed products in addition to a main booster all released at the same time, including Synchro Storm, Brothers of Legend, namely Synchro Storm, Brothers of Legend, and Burst of Destiny. Mm-hmm. So it makes for some very volatile formats. So I don't know how that's going to shake up the Magic scene, but it's never good news to hear stuff of that nature.
No.
But this is a good deck. This is going to make waves. Very similar. It's going to see a lot of experimentation with how many of the Ogre Dance and Foxy Tune you choose to run. They all have a similar mechanism. I'll read you Ogre Dance. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can make this card gain attack equal to that monster's attack until the end of this turn. So that's kind of like its on-field effect.
Yes.
You can only use each of these effects once per turn. This is the main kicker. You can tribute 1 punk monster, special summon this card from your hand. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to add 1 punk monster from your deck to your hand, except at level 8. So
keep going. I gotta find out something about this.
Okay, got you. Yeah, we're gonna discover more about that. But the new support that came out for Dimension Force regarding at least the punk side of this is Deer Note. So let's go ahead and check Deer Note out real quick. If we can get the cursor over there. You can reveal 1 other punk monster in your hand, special summon either the revealed monster or this card, and send the other to the graveyard. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 punk monster in your graveyard, except the level 5 monster, special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon Punk Deer Note for the rest of this turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. So there's just a lot of variety that you can go in. You know, you discard, you add back. Obviously, you need to get that chief searching component out, being that it's a tuner. And the tuner engine itself obviously gives us a wide variety of extra deck options. Namely, in the Synchro category, you can make Chaotic Magical Dragon to excavate and add. You go into Barone. It's very easy to access level 10 Synchros. Even in the Xyz department, we have Dingirsu. Obviously Zeus, if you're running any form of Xyz, you're going to want that. Number 38, your generic spell, rank 8 negate, which is really good. The new one, Zombie Vampire. I don't know if you guys have talked a lot about Zombie Vampire, but if you use a monster with a level that is owned by your opponent for the Xyz summon of this card, treat it as level 8. So you bring something out from your opponents, you can make sure you can essentially make that be your level 8. Neither player can target this card with effects of special summon monsters, except those special summon from the graveyard, kind of the vampire aesthetic. You can detach one material. Each player sends the top 4 cards from their deck. Then if any monsters were sent there to the graveyard, you can special summon one of them. So that's a powerful card featured in Battle of Chaos. You know, if you have Battle of Chaos available in your area, definitely try to pick up those in addition to some of the other really good reprints from Battle of Chaos, or new support there, whether it be your Illusion of Chaos for your Magician Souls or what have you. Psychic End Punisher, people have been saying a lot about this card. It's got a very unique concept effect where it's like, while your life points are less than or equal to your opponent's, this Synchro Summon card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. So really good. Once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points, then target one monster you control and one card your opponent controls, banish them. At the start of the battle phase, you can make this card gain attack equal to the difference in your life points in your opponent's. So just a very good level 10 Synchro that we're seeing here. Yeah. I'm sorry, this is level 11. But yeah. Either way, a 4 and a 7, that's not too difficult to negotiate. You know, a 3 and a 3 and an 8. All of these options are easily accessible thanks to the punk aspect of this. Moving on to the Therion area of this deck. Therions are very interesting in that they target a card of the same type of them, and you equip them. So let's just look at King Regulus, the signature. Here we go. Target one Therion monster or one machine monster in your grave. So it's not just their own type, but also the same archetype. Equip that monster to this card. Or yeah, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, equip that monster, right? When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, send one Therion monster card from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard to negate that effect. A Therion monster equipped with this card gains 700 attack. Also, it can activate the second effect listed above as if it were Therion King Regulus. So that's really cool. That's just the base. As far as equipping from the grave, that's a base theme in all of the Therions. And this is just a really strong deck. The sideboard obviously had to be catered to a lot of the new threats coming out. Namely, branded Despia with the D barriers. Some back row removal, modest back row removal with Red Reboot, Feather Duster, 2 Droplet for big boards, 2 Lightning Storm. A lot of what you can expect from a modern day sideboard, where there's anti-back row, anti-fusion, in this case with our current format. 1 Pankratops for the one really good draw that you need to pull off. Pankratops, very, very, very powerful card. It's a 2-for-1. You know, you summon it, you battle over anything that's a problem, and then you tribute it to bait out and negate. You know, what more can you ask for? Another deck, obviously, I would say is a really big fan favorite, is Therion ABC Dragon Buster. Similar stuff. You run King Regulus as your chief Therion, more so than you do the other ones. In fact, it's the only Therion you run. Torque Toon Gear. Card that hasn't seen a lot of support recently, but now we're seeing it make waves. Once returned, target one monster you control, equip this card to that target, or unequip this card and special summon it. A monster equipped with this card is treated as a tuner. It gains 500 attack. Also, if the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, destroy this card instead. So, typical Union stuff. Yeah, this is like the boost. Again, we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. This is the boost ABC really needs. Their full board, as it is right now, could theoretically be an IP, ABC, and a King Regulus, right? So that's a negate, a link summon, and a banish. Obviously, you use the IP to go into the Underworld Goddess or Appaloosa. In this case, this guy seems to be running the version that plays Appaloosa. So, essentially, with ABC Dragon Buster, for those who aren't in the know, you get to use its banish during either player's turn, but it also has the unique effect where you get to attribute it to summon your banished pieces. So that gives IP Masquerena a lot of options to link climb during your opponent's turn with. And in this case, we're seeing the build that ran Appaloosa more so than the Underworld Goddess. But either way, you know, that's kind of what we ought to expect. Around the Scythe Lock, we see TG Wonder Magician. Yeah, right here. Scythe Lock again keeps you out of keeps your opponent out of their extra deck if it's popped during the opponent's turn. And oh yeah, we're also seeing the Brave package. So that's an additional negate or bounce, depending on the situation. It doesn't seem like... Yeah, he cited in the one illegal night. This is the new card for the Brave package that lets you bounce as opposed to negate, essentially. 2 Mystic Mine, 3 Nibiru, 1 Secret Village, 2 Twin Twisters. Secret Village is a really spicy tech in the event that he doesn't have access to that Brave engine. So, you know, shout outs to him. You know, for whatever he had to do to make that work and find that level of consistency, good for him. Yeah, here we go. The 2 IP Masquerena, Appaloosa. 2 peas in a pod. Really great combo. Oh, we see Drytrons experiencing some kind of degree of success. This deck severely got nerfed with the banning of Eva. Eva, as we know, was our fairy that banished itself and another fairy to get 2 fairies. In which case, those translated to free negates. We don't see any of that. What's up?
The breaking news?
Yes.
So, because the reason why I stepped out is I got a text message from my distributor saying, "Thy king, I have your
hear ye.
I have your pre-release for Baldur's Gate. I cannot believe it's next week already.
Right.
Baldur's Gate pre-release is next Friday.
Okay.
And so the day it comes in is like on the 1st on bill day.
Wow.
So like we're gonna have like a $25,000 bills and bust the pre-release.
Right.
But it's so crazy how fast it's coming. But it's coming. All right, continue on.
Stay in the loop. Follow us on all of our platforms to stay in the now. And if you're in the area, please visit us.
That was fast.
Right. It just happens. But not really much more to talk about Drytron. They got nerfed, and they have to more rely on their extra deck now more than they ever did. Wow, they're going back to the old Herald of Mirage Lights in the event that their other backup plays get blocked. Still running Beatrice. They can still dump an artifact. Usually, one way to Scythe Lock was to dump the Scythe through Beatrice, but again, we're not seeing that in this guy's particular build. But it doesn't say how well this guy plays, but these were all at least top 8 according to the article. So congratulations to him. But yeah, those are the decks that really spoke to me about this new format, and it's kind of exciting to see where that's going to go. But moving on, we have some more market-related, somewhat subtle but also mildly heartbreaking news.
Ooh.
This is Darkwing Blast, and I'm going to keep my opinions about the way that Konami has treated Blackwing support in the past to myself, but it's good to see them featured in a main set again. But for those of you who are business owners and are paying attention here to the market, we're seeing a slight hike in booster pack price rates.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So this is a little bit of a kind of a indicator of where we're going as far as whether it be an issue of monetary policy.
$450 instead of, I think, I don't know if it was $399.
$399 traditionally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything's going up across the board these days.
Right. Our monetary policy. Our monetary policy, whether it be inflation or what have you, this is the result. This is the fruit of what you get. And we're all in this together. And like I said, at Baxter's, we don't lose hope in nothing.
Nope.
So we know that we're going to be taken care of at the end of the day. But yeah, if you want to go under some of the leaks, I'm going to pull them up right here. You guys weigh in as far as whether or not this is the support that you think is due and is right for Blackwings. I'm going to pull it. This article was from a couple weeks ago where we get to see what a lot of the singles from this set get to do. And this is the #1 hub as far as finding news related to all of your upcoming products.
The YGO organization.
Yeah, your organization, as I call it. Where is that Blackwing support? Ooh, Master Dual Sleeve giveaway. That's really cool. I'm gonna give it one more page before I just dive in on Wikipedia for it. Yeah, more product delays announced, again as a result of supply chain issues. All right, we're just gonna go pull it up on Wikipedia because it's worth mentioning what some of the new stuff is coming up. Let's see. And again, this is a few months up. This is for the TCG. We can expect it in October. But here's some of the new Blackwing support. For those of you who know, Blackwings are very good at swarming the board and synchro summoning. A lot of level 2 tuners, a lot of level 6 synchro monsters. Black Whirlwind is their signature card, lets them get an additional normal summon, or an additional search each time they're summoned. If you control a Blackwing monster other than Blackwing Vata the Knave, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon this once per turn. Okay. During the main phase, send this card on the field and one or more Blackwing monster non-tuners from your deck to the graveyard, whose level equals exactly 8. And if you do, special summon the Blackwing Dragon from your extra deck. And then you're locked into Dark Monsters. So you're not even locked into Synchro Summoning, but you're locked into Dark Monsters, which isn't really a huge restriction. But what's really cool is that you Synchro Summon using your deck, which is really cool. That's new. You usually had to do some quick math on the field and get your synchros out, but this one's letting you do it from the deck, which is kind of unique, and it might be able to see some waves of competitive play.
So that's a new card?
This is all the new support. Obviously, we don't have any pictures yet, but yeah, here's another one. Send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Place one Black Feather Whirlwind from your deck, or face up in your spell and trap zone. If a Blackwing Synchro monster or Blackwing Dragon is special summoned to your field while you control this card, or to your field while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, then target one Blackwing monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So, very passive effect, kind of like recycling your resources there. This is a new spell support. Once per turn, if you special summon a Dark Synchro monster from the extra deck, you can target one of your Blackwing monsters or Blackwing Dragon with lower attack that is banished or in your graveyard and special summon it. Once per turn, if a Dark Monster controller be destroyed, you can remove one Black Feather counter instead. This is interesting because we're seeing a lot of decks utilize the Banish Zone for their extra deck plays. We've seen it in Branded Despia. They can recycle Banished or in their grave, and we're seeing the same pattern here for Synchro. That's kind of cool. Chinook the Snowstrike. Send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Send one Blackwing Synchro monster or Blackwing Dragon from your extra deck to the graveyard. The targeted monster loses attack, and its effects are negated. This is a quick effect if you control a Dark Synchro monster. So if you want to have a good board going first, you're going to load up with one of these in addition to whatever you're setting up. Any of your Dark Synchros, I mean, it could be Tenyi, Draco, Berserker, it could be anything. So this is just good generic Dark Synchro monster support, not limited to the Blackwing archetype. There's been a common argument, and me and Justin have discussed this, where Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so non-restrictive that it can become a problem, where a lot of decks kind of run away with this hodgepodge mix of different archetypes. And if this had perhaps been strictly Blackwing support, it may not be as good, obviously, but we just have to trust Konami's judgment on making these things generic, right? Sutri, the Illusionary Spark. When this card is normal summoned, you can add one card that mentions Blackwing Dragon from your deck to your hand, except Blackwing. So this is the one that really searches all of them on normal summon. Special summon one tuner token. That's really interesting because that's something that we saw debut in Sword Soul. So I think this is the pace that Konami wants for the game in the future. A lot of new tokens that have tuner effects added to them. Then you take 700. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the rest of the turn except Synchro monsters. And so this one does restrict you to Synchro summoning, but either way, that's really cool. And the last monster we're going to talk about before going into the new extra deck one is Zonda the Timely Knight. You cannot special summon monsters except Synchro monsters. So this is just a hard blanket, you can't do this. You can only use one of the following effects of Blackwing Zonda the Knight once per turn, and only once that turn. If this card is normal, special summon, target one monster in the field, return it to the hand, and you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon one level 5 or higher Blackwing monster from your deck, or from your hand or deck. You take damage equal to its attack. So, a lot of consistency boosters for your Blackwing strategy. You're no longer just relying on Black Whirlwind, but these are the two new Synchro bosses themselves. Black-Winged Assault Dragon. Here we see an actual picture of the card itself. This is going to be presumably the new boss and the cover card of the new set, obviously. Must be either Synchro summoned or special summoned by banishing one Tuner Synchro monster and one Blackwing Dragon from your field and or graveyard. Each time your opponent activates an effect, place one Black Feather counter on this card immediately after it resolves, and if you do, inflict 700 damage. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you contribute this card with 4 or more Black Feather counters, destroy all cards on the field. So a pretty strong punctuation to Crow Hogan as a Yu-Gi-Oh character.
Crow Hogan.
Yeah, good old Crow Hogan. Yu-Gi-Oh has a lot of what ifs because none of these cards ever showed up in the show. That's just a thing about where they give this huge expanded universe, where you take the reins and you're the new owner of this deck or what have you. This is the level 6 Synchro. If this card is Synchro Summon, send one Blackwing monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, this card's level becomes that monster's. When this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can banish one Blackwing monster from your field, from your face-up field or graveyard, special summon the destroyed monster to your field and defense position. You can only use each effect once per turn. So again, that one's kind of cool, very essential for climbing up into that new boss monster. And I just want to check out Black Whirlwind itself. Oops. Black Whirlwind. There it is. And make sure I'm not ruining anybody's interpretation of this card. Yeah, when a blacking monster is normal, you add a Blackwing. Yeah. So this was kind of like the backbone of their deck.
Okay.
You had to run 3 of these to keep the consistency going, and they do stack. So you activate one where you have 2, and the other one's going to resolve. So it's really cool in that way. But as far as new product and stuff like that, that's going to close out this week's Yu-Gi-Oh section. Stay dueling, stay safe out there, and we're going to move on to what I would say is the general consensus, a lot of people's favorite, Pokemon. And we start again with a somber message.
Oh, ooh,
yeah.
Product availability again. Okay, right. So I'll read this. So Pokemon wrote, "We are aware that some fans are experiencing difficulty purchasing certain Pokemon trading card game products due to very high demand and global shipping constraints, impacting availability. We understand this is an inconvenience and can be disappointing for fans, and we are working to address it where it is within our control. In situations where there's limited availability, we are actively working to print more of the impacted Pokemon TCG products as quickly as possible and at maximum capacity to support this increased demand." I think that's through the United States. They have a new printer facility, I think in the Midwest. Or East. Okay. Reprinted products are expected to be available at retailers as soon as possible. For new Pokemon TCG expansions launching in the future, we are maximizing production to increase product availability upon release. And we will continue to reprint products to replenish stock as retailers, at retailers as soon as possible. We'd like to thank the community for their continued support and patience. So, I know Astral Radiance comes out in 2 days. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah,
the 27th, yep.
And my allocation was cut more than 60%. I typically get 300 plus boxes, and I only got 100. Right. 114 to be exact. So that's all I got, and that's really sucks because, that's what it is. And everything across the board I got cut.
Right.
The good news is I heard that Evolving Skies is having a reprint.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was part of the good news.
And they put some numbers in for that, but then again, they said it could be very, very short allocation. If I put in 100, I can only get 10.
But guys, let's not lose heart. We're seeing this all around this whole industry. But we as a player base, I think, are showing that we're very resilient. We've been through the pandemic. Mm-hmm. A period of time where people thought card games were just going to disappear.
That is true.
And we've stuck it strong, and I would say we're stronger than ever. We saw a huge celebrity following, with the Jake Pauls buying Pokemon cards and so on. Let's keep riding this through, Let's maintain having a community, and building off of that.
And so Astral Radiance comes out tomorrow. Right now, 108. On TCG Player
for a booster
if you
box.
Could get it for this price, get it because it will go up. I just told you my allocation got cut. This will go up, I don't know, in a week or two maybe, but get it now. Here's some of the big hitter, it looks like, is the Origin Form Dialga V, and it's the alternative full art. Looks great. There's the Palkia V-Star. There's rumors of decks that are going to be made for that. The alt art also looks amazing. Everything looks great in this set. I mean, I love what they're doing. This one, I want to show you this one card. The like black and white, or sorry, not black and white, black and gold cards. Let's see if I could pull one up here.
Oh yeah, those extra secret.
Yeah,
rares,
I
right?
think they look amazing. And then right now, of course, we're on TCG Player. For those of you who want to know, I think I skipped it. I don't.
Yeah,
know
I don't know if they display those
But-
just yet.
Yeah, but they look great. But yeah, so that's what we got going with Astral Radiance. Next, we have if you're a collector and you also collect Japanese cards, even if you don't, there is a guy who I think he partnered with Pokemon, his clothing line, and then you'll get a Prankster Pikachu card. And I have over here his clothing line. Here is just one of his things, Mischievous Pichu. And I was like, oh man, this actually looks pretty cool. Let me go to some of the other stuff because like the shoes were cool.
You
also
got the Element Badge shoes. Those
Yep.
are really cool.
Look at this. That looks sweet. I mean, I think it looks.
Yeah, they look like Chucks too. So
Yep.
obviously, who doesn't love a pair
And
of
then
Chucks?
like we got Pichu over here on this side.
Getting himself into trouble.
The mischievous
Yeah,
one. And then so if you get that, you get the Pokemon card, the Mischievous Pichu card.
So 11,000 yen.
Right
That's
here.
about 110. That's good value for some collectible kicks.
This is $110.
That's about 110.
Not sure about the whole shipping to United States, but I'm pretty sure I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool. So if you're interested in that, you could get that there. GameStop doing a giveaway for Typhlosion. So right here it says GameStop will be giving away a Hisuian Typhlosion promo card on May 27th. This is to celebrate the release of Astral Radiance in stores. You'll be able to get the promo when purchasing $15 of Pokemon trading card game merchandise. So it looks like it's exclusive to them.
Oh yeah, this one's gonna have a set stamp instead of the GameStop stamp. So that's what we see here.
Okay, very cool. So
Okay.
that's some information for you guys, collectors, of course. And then lastly, Pokemon Go comes out July 1st. And so that's going to be here before we know it.
Absolutely.
For this set. So also excited about this. And then here's just some spoilers that we have.
Mewtwo V-Star. That's really cool.
Ooh. Yeah, I wonder if this is going to be a new meta deck when it comes out. I mean, pretty powerful.
We know
card.
Mew is making waves right now. Anything that counters that, anything that counters Psychic at this point in time is really good.
And if you're a store and you're part of the Pokemon Club, I think you could still sign up. It might already be done, but check because it might be till the end of May. Pokemon Go, you'll become a Pokestop.
Excellent.
And so Baxter's is going to become one. We already filled out all the
Absolutely.
applications. So if you're a store, contact Pokemon at Pokemon Club and see how you can become a Pokestop and do a lot of cool stuff for the like pre-release of the Pokemon Go set and everything else.
Yeah, really cool stuff.
All right, next is Warhammer, our
Here we
last
go.
one. And boom. So we're at Games Workshop, on Games Workshop website. We got pre-orders. The things I wanted to talk specifically about Warhammer is these also are victim to shortages and production. And what we've been seeing lately are these. Anything that's like a battle box, sold out, sold out, sold out. Now it says sold out online, but the same is kind of true for stores because these go so fast. The translation over to stores is we don't get a lot and they sell out quickly. These values are insane. So like when you look at something like this, that's the collector. Let's just go back to the normal. So
That's the super
see
special one.
$195. There's 400% added value in this.
Right.
Which Games Workshop never does. So literally you're looking at $600 worth of models
Right.
that you're getting for $200. I mean, it's or around 600. Because like a model like this on its own is probably like $60.
Right.
And
That's
then
really cool.
then you have like a model like this on its own. And these are
Yeah,
sick.
it's like rotating picture. Yeah.
yeah,
That's really cool.
These models are almost $100 if they're not already. So you don't play, but the cool thing. So I played Skaven when it first came out. This is a Skaven army. They're like kind of like they're rats that are like mutant rats.
Oh yeah,
like kind of like human. The cool thing about this is so they believe in the 13's like their holy number, and they have 13 rat gods.
Right.
And so this bell, you roll 2d6, and then 2 to 12, a random thing happens that's supposed to be like part of the 13. And it's funny because one of the rolls is if you roll a 13, you automatically win the game.
Oh wow!
But you can't roll a 13 on 2d6.
I see.
But I don't know. There's some.
If there was a mechanic to bypass that, you know.
But this is the plug engine. This is called Echoes of Doom. Oh, that's the box set, but this is the plug engine. Or the Screaming Bell. You could convert it into a plug engine.
Right, that's really cool.
But yeah, awesome. So, guys, get this as soon as you can.
Wherever you can.
It's 100% worth it. I mean, the box value is just amazing. And then, of course, we got a new Combat Patrol for Adeptus Custodes, which they needed one really, really bad. And for $150, this is a great deal, too.
We just got ours in today.
Like a great deal. Yes. And so we'll be selling them. And we also got these in. And we'll be selling those on Saturday.
Excellent.
On release. We also have some new Warcry stuff, and I'm going to get into a conversation of Warcry soon, which I'll just talk about right now. So I was on the Warhammer community page, and we have the Warcry battle report by Ben and Nick. And I was just, kind of checking it out, looking at, what they were doing. And these battle reports are great. You can read them. It's on the Warhammer community. So one thing I want to say is I tried to do Warcry, kind of like how you do Friday Night Magic. Every Friday, you come in, you play Warcry, because games are like 30 minutes, best of one.
Right.
And then you could do 3 rounds, or sometimes 4, and then you can do prizing and everything. Oh my gosh, when I first ran it, it was amazing. But I feel like Games Workshop didn't fully put support into it. I know they were making these Warcry kits, and they stopped making them because of COVID. But I want them to come back because I feel like this game has the best potential to imitate a card game in terms of tournament. Right. So even like you talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon
the
Magic.
Tournament structure.
Yeah,
right?
where you have I know in Yu-Gi-Oh it's 40-minute rounds, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this easily you could do a 1v1 skirmish, 40 minutes. Like I said, 30 minutes, but you could do 40 minutes and it could be done, and you move to the next round,
right?
And you keep going, and you don't see that in tabletop. It's unheard of,
right? So there's just a good flow of gameplay.
Yes, this is potentially where you could do it, and you could, and card games have had great success with it, and I think they need to imitate that more with Warcry. Right. There's so much things they could do with this. It's ridiculous. Like I'll show you how to play Warcry, and you'll see. And because I mean, for those of you that play Warcry, it's awesome. You have your 10 units or your skirmish, and then you have certain objectives. So you'll have your army, and you'll pull an objective card, and it'll say kill their general, and then the game's done. Right. And then they have to make sure their general doesn't get killed, and you have 6 turns to do it.
Right. It's like chess almost.
Yeah.
It's very immersive from everything I see. The figures are so beautiful, and
it's great.
Yeah, it's just.
And then you go in, you do it. Win or lose, you go to the next round. You do Swiss tournament, right. So you don't leave. It's not single elimination. Right. And then boom, everyone's having a great time.
You gain all the experience you need from this format.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try this again. I just had a new Warhammer guy. We'll try doing.
Shout outs to Seth.
Yes. And last but not least,
that was the hot press.
That was it.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, this was our bad news that we got.
So thank you guys for tuning in. That's what we have for this week. We'll be back next week. Anything else? Yeah, no, we're going to be here to deliver fresh content every single week. Please tune in. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll be sure to continue delivering all of the material concerning your collector's market, TCG, Warhammer, any of those needs. Baxter's Game Store in Queen Creek, Arizona. And then if you watch this and you have any comments or questions, anything about owning a game store too, let me know. Yes. We'll talk about it too next